Hey there guys, and welcome back to the Travis and Damian Podcast. We are available on anchor.fm/Travis Damian Podcast, along with Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and many more. Today we're going to be talking about the news and then the latest Nintendo Direct that just happened this past week, and then our recent activities. So first piece of news is that there is a PlayStation 5 patent suggesting backwards compatibility for all previous consoles. So when it comes to me and backwards compatibility, I think that in and of itself has really phased out. I think the last console to have like really good backwards compatibility was the Wii U, unfortunately. But every other like recent console doesn't really have it in the same way where you just use the old game and just put it in and then it works.
Yeah.
So.
Obviously I think this is amazing if they do if this is true. Like if the PS5 could play like every single PlayStation disc, that would be great. Because again, like you said, the last console that I could really think of that had backwards compatibility was the Wii U, and that I could play Wii games. And like, you know, with the 360, I think the 360 could play Xbox games. But like after that, it's just like Xbox One and PS4 don't allow that. You know, the Switch obviously can't play anything else because it has a different, you know, how it uses cartridges. So yeah, I think this is amazing. You know, being able to just like have one console that could play all the previous consoles is great, because I hate like if I want to play a PS3 game, I'd bring out my PS3, or like, you know, if I want to play Xbox game, I had to get the 360. You know, it's just like it's really annoying. So yeah, hopefully this is true, and Sony really pushes for that to be a thing again, because backwards compatibility is very useful. And I mean, I get why they don't want to do it, so they could sell HD, you know, re-releases so they get more money, but you know, it's still cool that they're even thinking about bringing it back. So,
this is definitely something that I am very excited for if it is true. Just because I always loved the fact that when I bought like my PS2, I could play PS1 games, and then when I bought my Wii, I could play GameCube games. Not all Wii's are backwards compatible with the GameCube, but you know, the first you know, like generation of the Wii could play GameCube games. So that's pretty much how I got into all of those previous console games. So like nowadays it's kind of just like, you know, it's much more of a different generation of gaming, I feel, because now you got like free to play games, like all these downloadable titles and all this other stuff. But you know, back in our generation, I guess backwards compatibility was a huge thing, and I hope that Sony does, you know, push this to bring it back in this way, especially.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people also like trade in the old console to get the new one. So it sucks when they trade it in and like, oh, I can't play my old games on this now. So I kind of made a mistake there. So it's also useful for that, because I remember a lot of people used to like trade in their PS2s for PS3s, you know, to get some money towards it and stuff like that. So it's pretty useful for that too. So yeah, hopefully this is true, because you know, Sony hasn't been too consumer friendly lately. So with the whole crossplay thing. So
yes.
Hopefully this is a step in the right direction for that.
Yes, definitely.
All right, so the Mario Kart Tour has been delayed to summer, and there's a Dr. Mario World coming to mobile this summer. So yeah, for the Mario Kart thing, I'm not too sure what that means for that.
It's the mobile game or whatever.
Oh, is this what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what did it just like move everything to the summer? It seems that Nintendo really has a stacked summer then with some of the other Switch games in this. Then I don't know why they decided to just skip spring, like all entirely. But
I don't know.
I guess it's yeah, I'm not too sure what their plan was here, but yeah, if you were looking forward to Mario Kart Mobile, then I'm sorry, it's in summer now. And Dr. Mario World is also coming to mobile. Yeah,
it's a brand new one that they just announced. But
and I think that will work on mobile, because you know it's
a puzzle game.
Yeah. So.
But Mario Kart Tour, we still don't know on how that's gonna work entirely, but it will be free to start. So
they usually are, at least with Nintendo stuff. Like, I don't know, they had a good track record, I guess. I didn't play too much of the Animal Crossing one. I don't know how paid
it was
to win.
Alright.
Okay. Like, I know Fire Emblem, you know, obviously could be as paid as you want, because it's a gacha game, but I feel like you could do a lot as a free player. Animal Crossing, I'm not too sure, because I didn't play too much of it, but I'm sure this game will be fine too. So
yeah, so far Nintendo's dives into mobile, like Super Mario Run, like that was like a pretty good start. And then the Animal Crossing game, it was fun for a while, but you know, I kind of just realized that I'm just doing the same thing over and over again, and like leveling up gets a lot longer, especially if you don't like pay money. So right. I just kind of dropped it entirely, but it was fun while it lasted, I will say.
Yeah, so I think these two games would be all right. I think Dr. Mario might be more successful, maybe just because it's easier to play on mobile. I don't know. Until we see like gameplay, I guess. So I don't really have too much thoughts about this at the moment.
Yeah, I'm very curious on how Mario Kart's gonna work.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so Machinima officially shuts down, lay off 81 employees. So I think everyone's big question is not the fact that why they shut down, like they were 100% going downhill for a while, but how the hell did they have 81 employees?
Yeah, that surprised me too. I mean, yeah, that many employees. I mean, Machinima hasn't been a thing for like a really long time now. Like they used to be really big, but it just kept going downhill for a while. I was surprised that there were still like 81 employees there.
Yeah. Like, and you know, recently they terminated their entire like YouTube channel library, so now you know they're pretty much just dead. There's nothing much on the internet to really show what they did because they literally just deleted everything.
Yeah, and that's again, I think we talked about it last time, and that just sucks. You know, I hate when like these people don't put like a heads up or something like, hey, we're gonna delete like this entire library of videos. If you want to conserve them, do it now. They just kind of just deleted everything. I mean, maybe that was the point, but still, it's like that's pretty annoying. But you know, obviously, it sucks that people lost their jobs, but it's still weird that it was 81 employees still in Machinima when they really haven't been doing anything for the last like 5 years or so. Like, I can't really think of the last major Machinima anything. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it sucks. I know a lot of people still have like contracts with them, like with YouTube. So now they have to deal with that. So that sucks. But yeah,
that's the life of MCNs or MCMs or whatever.
All right, but on to more weird news. Like Xbox Live is coming to Nintendo Switch and mobile. So I don't think this is what people want it to mean. It's not like you're not going to be playing Halo on the Switch, right? Like I think it's just going to be a app where you could check
access your Xbox Live.
Yeah, like you could check your Xbox Live and see your achievements and you message your friends and stuff like that. I think that this is what that is because, you know, obviously they're not going to let you play Xbox games on the Switch because I don't even know how that would work. But I think that's cool. You know, Xbox or Microsoft is really leaning towards that cross-play and everyone being the big happy family. So,
yeah. I mean, like, to be honest, like, the entire, like, Sony thing of them just, like, not wanting to do that is a bit strange because really what is there to really protect? Because, you know, everyone's playing games these days.
Yeah.
And what are you doing by alienating the rest of everyone while you isolate yourself, you know? So I really like the fact that, you know, Microsoft and Nintendo are very open about, you know, like survive together or whatever, you know, the slogan is. But it's really nice to go and see them be nice.
It's also like with cross-play and things like this, you know, it's not going to hurt Sony. Like, people are still going to buy PS4s because of the exclusives on it, you know? Like, people are going to buy a Nintendo Switch because of the exclusives and stuff. Like, this type of stuff doesn't really hurt anyone. It just benefits everyone. So I don't really know why they're so against this. So,
yeah.
I really don't get it.
Definitely a strange scenario. Titanfall 3 is not in development because I believe they were working on Apex Legends or something like that.
Respawn was working on Apex this whole time. So.
But you know what? Apex Legends is doing fine. But the entire like downfall of the Titanfall series is a bit like strange because like Titanfall, the first game, it was developed by a lot of people that did the Call of Duty games before, and like the game didn't do so well at first, and then the sequel came out and that was pretty good, but it got overshadowed by a lot of other releases, so it didn't do well either there. But now we got Apex.
Yeah, I know some people are disappointed. I actually really like Titanfall 2. I thought the campaign was really fun, and the multiplayer was, you know, pretty unique with the whole mechs and things like that. Also, like the movement, like everyone always says, is like extremely great. Like the wall running and like just you're so acrobatic in that game. But I think a lot of that transferred to Apex. I know people are sad that wall running isn't in Apex, but I think they said it just doesn't work in that type of game. They had some explanation, but I don't know. You could really feel that they wanted to make Apex Legends. Like, you know, it doesn't feel like something like EA's like, hey, do this instead of Titanfall. Like, it still felt like they put a bunch of effort into Apex, and it's showing. You know, like it's doing really well right now. So. It sucks that we're not getting the actual Titanfall 3. EA said they're like they're making something else with Timefall, but I don't really. I don't believe it's gonna be good, but they're doing
it might be a mobile game.
Yeah, like knowing EA, it's probably gonna be a mobile game, so I wouldn't put too much trust into that. But if you want something that's similar to Titanfall, just play Apex. It's pretty fun. All right, so now we got a thing that I never thought was gonna happen. We got The Walking Dead, the final season is getting a physical edition. So not only did they finish this thing, they're now making a physical edition of it. That's pretty impressive from it just dying into like rebirthing into this. Like, I don't know how well the previous or the recent episodes are, but it's a really nice comeback, from like the whole company shutting down to like at least them finishing this last project. So
Skybound Games really definitely picked it back up, but the final episode comes out on the 26th of March or something like that. Yeah, so when that comes out, it'll be really, really cool to finally, see exactly on how Clementine's story ends. A lot of people say that she's going to die. I wouldn't be surprised if that is how one of the endings goes, but we'll just have to wait and see. But so far, the final season's been good. I'm glad that we're getting a physical edition, just so like this piece of like digital gaming history is, in a physical version, I guess, because like, a lot of like digital games just like disappear off of the stores, which I believe is what happened with a lot of the Telltale games on Steam. So the only way you could really replay those like years down the road is by having a physical version. So I'm glad that Skybound Games is doing this for console and including the Switch. So that is very, very cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dive into the Nintendo Direct that happened this past week. So before we dive into like anything specific, I just want to get like your opinion on like what you thought the Direct was. So like my opinion on it is that like every single time a Direct gets announced, people just overhype it every single time. It's like, we're going to get, a brand new Smash character. We're going to get Animal Crossing, this and that. But I'm just going to wait and see every single time. Just because I know it's not going to be this grand thing that everyone hypes it up to be. Unless it's an E3 Direct. Which then, in that case, it has to be. But if it's just like a random out of the blue Direct, it's probably going to be like a bunch of small announcements. Which is what this thing mainly was. So I wasn't necessarily happy with it, but I wasn't necessarily disappointed with it either.
Yeah, I basically like share that exact same thing. Like I liked it because there was a lot of things that interest me, but I don't know. Mostly people that were expecting Pokemon, I just don't know what to say to you because like I've been in like 4 Pokemon cycles. Like they never announce Pokemon in like directs, and they always have their own thing because Game Freak just likes to do their own thing. So I really don't know why people were expecting Pokemon. Animal Crossing, I always figured was going to be an E3 thing. I knew we were going to get Fire Emblem info because I think they were just like, it's supposed to come out in spring. So I'm like, we're not getting Fire Emblem info at this point, then I don't know what to think.
Yeah. But and they even said that like Fire Emblem was going to be talked about. So
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. My expectations were pretty set for this one, and I enjoyed it. Like I thought it was okay. It's not as it was better than the September one because the September one was not great, but this one was better.
Yeah, it actually had like some pretty decent announcements.
Yeah, it has some pretty nice announcements. So
we'll just go wherever. So my most excited thing is Link's Awakening. That whole like remake was very, very cool to see. The like gameplay for the art style, I'm a huge fan of just because I love like cutesy shit. So personally, I cannot wait for this game to come out. I believe it's going to retail at $60, which
all right, I don't know about that one.
I don't know if that's going to be the final price yet, but I know that that's like the placeholder price right now on Best Buy's website, so I hope it's not that, but knowing Nintendo, it's probably going to be that. But there's probably going to be like a lot of content, so like we don't know.
Because Link's Awakening isn't the longest game, so hope they add like at least like 2 more dungeons to that. Yeah. But in terms of my opinion on this, I'm really... I love Link's Awakening. I liked it a lot when I played it on the 3DS for the Ambassador thingy. I think they gave you a DX or whatever. And I was really hyped when I was seeing the trailer, like the whole animated trailer. I'm like, yo, this looks hype. And then when they cut to the gameplay, I was like, oh, okay. It was a little jarring at first. Like this is the art style they went with. But I think I'm okay with it now. I think I would prefer a different art style, but I don't hate it. I think it looks good. It's cute looking and stuff like that. I know this is how people felt about Wind Waker, but I don't know. Like I'm okay with it. Basically, the only thing that was basically my biggest concern was the price, because I don't know. I feel like Link's Awakening isn't the longest game since it was like a Game Boy game. It doesn't have that much content in it. So marking it, making it $60 is way too much. I think this is like a $40 game. Like a 3DS game price, or at least 50. Like I think 60 is a little too much for something like this. But besides that, I am pretty hyped for it. I always love 2D Zelda games, isometric ones. So I'm pretty hyped for that.
Yeah, I'm only good at the 2D Zelda games anyways. But
another announcement that got me excited was Mario Maker 2.
Yes.
I was waiting for basically like a port of this because I never got to play Mario Maker. And it was one of my biggest regrets of the Wii U, where I just like didn't buy it. So now I have the chance to, and it looks like they're adding a bunch of new stuff like slopes. Like apparently that was a big thing in the first one, that people wanted slopes. They're also adding like Cat Mario and things like that, so things from 3D World, which is really cool. And it just looks great. I'm very excited to play this. It's coming real soon too. It's coming June, so I'm really hyped for it. I know they could do some improvements to how like the online works for this, because I know there were some weird things with like getting levels and things like that from the live streams I watched when it came out. But I'm pretty excited for this. I know a lot of people are too, so.
Yeah, I didn't play Mario Maker when it came out just because I was like, I'm not a big like creative type sort of person, but now that it's like a sequel, like I honestly just expected like a port, but knowing Nintendo, they don't like doing straight ports. They like to like enhance it, so doing a outright sequel to it just because they're adding so much to it, I guess, makes sense. So I'm very excited to go and see what levels people are able to create, and maybe there might be a function to port levels from the first game onto the second one. Who knows? But
that'd be cool.
This is definitely very exciting, because I know that a lot of Twitch streamers are playing this game because it's free content pretty much.
It really is, yeah. And I'm also very excited to play it. I'm a pretty big creative guy. I love Little Big Planet, like level editor things, so I'm pretty hyped to get my hands on that. Another minor announcement they did was like Smash is getting a pretty big update for 3.0 in April, I guess. And
soon, TM.
It looks like it might be like new content in there. Like if they're keeping it that secret, I'm guessing it's like something bigger than like a balance patch. So
and especially so soon. I think Joker's gonna be released with that.
Yeah.
Patch,
I mean, they showed his model and he looks great. So I guess we might get like a tiny Smash thingy, like in April. Maybe like a not a direct, like a full direct, but it might be like a little trailer showing what's happening there.
Yeah.
Then they showed Toad. No one cares about Toad.
They showed a bunch of like random things, I felt, but the next like big ones were like the Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest Builders 2. I'm really excited for. I really liked the first one when that came out on Switch last year. It's just really fun. It's like Minecraft, but like more like adventure-y. Like you fight monsters and things like that, so it's a lot more entertaining. So, and it brings like the whole Dragon Quest flair to it. So I really enjoyed the first one, and I'm excited. This is actually coming out really soon to America. It's coming out July 12th. So I really thought this was going to come till like next year because localization, but apparently it's coming out pretty soon. So
that's pretty good. Fire Emblem Three Houses, they obviously talked about that. I mean, it looks good.
I like. All right, so this is like a controversial thing because people aren't sure about the whole school theme.
Yes.
I like it mechanically because it just means that you could basically shape your units however you like. Like you could just make them into like, because you're basically teaching them to do whatever, right? So you can make them as like a cavalry or like, I guess like a bowman or whatever. And I think that's sick. Like I think that's like awesome. Like, but like, thematically, I don't know if it really fits the whole medieval thing. Like you just see like basically an anime schoolgirl like in a medieval setting. I'm like, I don't know if I like that as much, but in terms of as a mechanic, then yes, I do like it a lot. But yes, I get why people would be hesitant about this because it's like more, it just doesn't really fit in with the whole medieval setting. So I could see why people won't like it, but I think in terms of gameplay, I think it's gonna be great. And the more they were talking about it, the more interest I was getting because I was already pretty hyped for this game. But since it's not, I don't think it's being split into 3 games. I hope not. I think you could so you could like select what house you want to be in, and that basically determines, I guess, what units you will get and stuff like that from the 3 houses. So I'm like, oh, that's sick. So you could pick from the start on what team you want to be in, basically, and that depends on that gives you the different units you could use for that campaign, I guess. So yeah, I think gameplay wise, this game is gonna be great. Story wise, it didn't really go into it much. It's just like, the country is divided in 3 because of the houses, and that's it. That's really all they really told us. So I don't know about the story wise, because that was the problem with Fates, was the story was real bad. So hopefully this game's story isn't as bad. But gameplay wise, it looks really good. So I'm still pretty hyped for it.
Definitely Fates was not great on the story front, which is why I stopped playing it.
Yeah.
So hopefully 3 Houses has a bit of a better story, because Awakening was just so good in terms of the story and like gameplay as well. So this game, it's looking like it's going to be real strong on the gameplay front. Hopefully they could deliver on the story bits. So.
And it got delayed to summer, basically, is what they said. I think it's coming out July 22nd. Yeah.
26.
26. I'm sorry. 26. I'm done.
Okay. And then they quickly
Tetris
announced
VR.
Yes, Tetris 99. I guess I'll talk about it quickly here. It's actually like probably the best way to play Tetris today, because like when I play Tetris on my phone, I'm just playing against myself. But like when you're playing against like 98 other people and you're like under stress like that, like it actually has like a end goal to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So it is very, very nice, and it's free. So if you want to just try it out and play it, it's available on the Switch for Switch Online members or whatever.
Yeah. And I think that's sick that they're really adding more incentives to the online, to the membership. I think something like this is actually pretty nice to have as a bonus for having the online. So this is like what I want to see more of. So yeah, that was a nice announcement.
They also announced that Final Fantasy 7 and 9 are coming to the Switch. So that is pretty cool. I believe 9's already out.
9 is out already, and 7 is coming out March 20-something. Hold on, I'm trying to get over here.
I believe
March
it's
26? Yeah, 26.
Ooh, another 26 game. So that's going to be pretty cool.
So Chocobo Mystery Dungeon actually looks really good. So I'm pretty hyped for that, because I love Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. So but besides that, we had one more pretty big announcement, which is a new Platinum game. What was it called again? Astral Chain.
Yeah.
This game looks... I don't know if that's Switch footage, but it looks really good for a Switch game. Like, I don't know if this is exclusive or not, but it looks extremely good for a Switch game, and obviously it's made by Platinum, so it just makes it great. Like, I was watching this, I'm like, yo, this is a Platinum game, isn't it? And it was, and I felt happy, so...
It definitely looks really, really good, and it's stylized really nicely as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, another wacky Platinum game, I guess. So definitely something to look forward to. And
I think that was all the major announcements, really.
Yeah, there were a couple of like other minor things like Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. I mean, there was a bunch of shadow drops. Like there was like 2 demos, which I'll talk about: the Yoshi and Daemon X Machina. And also, I guess they shadow dropped like a piece of DLC for the Toad game, so that was cool.
Yeah. They're adding more stuff to it, so that's pretty cool to those that want to play more. So, all right, so let's get into recent activities. I'll start first real quick. League of Legends, currently Diamond 3, 40 LP. The ladder is really messed up because so they did the whole like positional ranking thing, which... As a support main, it's fine because I always get my role most of the time. But I know for a lot of other people, it's like really messed up because like when you get autofilled and like your main's like mid, but you get like AD, you're only gonna get like 3 to 5 LP for your mid. Right. So like a lot of people are really like not motivated to play because like they'll just lose like 3 to 5 LP and not really care as much. So that really sucks about it. When like people just like straight up like harden and like don't care.
Oh, okay. So like they would like fill or whatever, they get the role they don't want, but they don't get punished as hard. Is that what's happening? Like
kind of, okay. Yeah. So and then another thing that was happening before, I believe they like quickly hot fixed it, was like people would like duo queue and like they would like swap roles in game and like the game wouldn't get it. So like you have like a mid jungle, and then like they would swap, and then like you would get like LP for your mid and jungle on top of the role that you were queuing up for. So like, because like to quote unquote stop people from like inting and stuff, they did like the splash damage, which is what like the +3 and +5 are. But like it's not as much, you know.
Okay.
So also when the season first started, MMRs were like inflated out of the like really really high. So like people that like grinded early, they would gain like 30 LP and lose like 11. So like they weren't losing as much, but they would gain like so much.
Right.
And like I believe they fixed it recently, so like now it's like fixed, but like people that are like high up, they aren't supposed to be high up. I'm still playing with them, and I'm just like, I want to get out. Like, please just reset the ladder, because like some games the skill gap is so goddamn like high. Like people just like straight up harden, and I'm just like, what is going on? I can't even do anything. And you know, people tilt very easily. You know, the same old like solo queue stuff. But so far, I think I'm doing well. If they were to just like reset the bracket or like reset the ladder after the like first split, because like now they're doing like splits in the season, if they just like reset the ladder and just take out positional queue entirely, I'd be okay with it. It's just that, you know, I really do like the whole positional ranking thing, but I guess it just didn't work out because people are people and they just ruin everything. So
Exactly.
Fortnite, they just updated the game, and it's actually pretty good. So it encourages a lot more like aggressive plays. So when you kill someone, you get 50 health or 50 shield, whatever you don't have. So that's like really really good. So when you're playing squad, you're encouraged to like thirst people,
Right.
pretty much, because you'll get that extra HP, extra shield to keep fighting. So before, the problem was like, you know, we would get into like a squad fight, win, and then all of us would be low and no one was carrying meds. So now it's like you just get more HP from killing people. And I believe you also get mats from them or something like that. Like not just the mats that they had, but on top of that as well.
Oh, wow.
So like I believe on top of the additional 50 shield / health, you get more mats, like 50 mats for wood, brick, and metal. So you could keep building and keep fighting. So this is definitely like a good step in the right direction. Thank you, Apex Legends, by the way, because this pretty much lit a fire under Epic's ass to be like, yo, you need to fix your shit or else everyone's going to jump to this game.
Right.
So that is pretty good. I've only played, you know, a couple of hours on it, but, you know, Fortnite is once again, you know, fun because camping is not encouraged as much.
That's good.
And then speaking of Apex Legends, I played a little bit of it. I'm still getting the hang of it because, like, you know, you have like these different characters that like do different abilities and all this other stuff. So it is definitely very interesting. But I know that a lot of people are really, really loving the game, and you know, I get that because there's no building, and you know, I feel like a lot of the game is revolved around actually getting a good shot. So.
And it's like, you know, also not made by like an indie company. It's made by a AAA developer. So
yeah,
there's not too many.
Too.
It's only like Fortnite and Apex at this point. Like PUBG is like, you know, you could tell it's not exactly AAA quality. So
yeah,
I guess
definitely.
COD, but COD, yeah.
Yeah, I think COD's dead on PC.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Sadly. And then I played Tetris 99. Talked about that earlier. I watched a bit of Punisher season 2. I'm still not finished with it. I tend to do this with a lot of shows that I watch. I just like stop watching it like randomly. I gotta get back on that. So, but yeah, now let's get to you, good sir.
All right. So I've been starting to play more of the classic Final Fantasy games. Been playing 5. I actually finished 5. And it's real good. Basically, you know, it's a classic, just like, hey, help the crystals or whatever, in a very basic, like, early 90s RPG plot. And, like, it's not that deep. But where the game really becomes unique is the whole job system, where you're able to change your class at basically any time. And it's fantastic. Like, I know a lot of other games do it nowadays, or a lot of Square Enix games do it nowadays, but this is, like, sort of the first game that really made it super interesting, where you could be like a black mage and like get black magic level, like whatever, as you level up your job, and then you could switch to like a summoner or whatever, and then you could sort of like dual class, so you could still have that black magic level with the summoner level, so you could basically like mix and match a bunch of different abilities to make like an ultimate class, and it's like super satisfying to do. Like in the like late game, I was basically just like one-shotting people because of how broken you could be. It's like, it's really fun, and the game like encouraged you to really break it And I love it when games do that. Like I like it when they don't really like stop you from abusing its systems that have in place. Like I love it. So yeah, it was a very fun time. The story and characters didn't really matter too much. Like, it was still pretty enjoyable, but that wasn't really the focus of this game in particular. It was mostly about the gameplay, so I really enjoyed it. I just started Final Fantasy VI, which is now like the ones that people consider extremely good, like 6, 7, 9. So those are the ones I'm probably gonna play next. So again, I don't have too many hours in 6 yet, so I can't really say. All I could really say is that they do dump a bunch of party members on you at once, where I never liked it when games really just throw a bunch of party members at you. Like, I'm talking like 10 party members in the first like 3 hours. I'm like, all right, this is a little much, but I don't know. We'll see. I know some characters, because when you have that many party members, you can't develop all of them. It's just too much. It was my problem with Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U. They just dumped so many party members on you, and none of them mattered except like 2. So I hope this one doesn't have that problem. Might, because that's just an older game too. So I guess we'll see as we go on. I know this one's considered a lot of people's favorite, so I'm really looking forward to diving into it more. Another series I've been wanting to get into since the next installment looks extremely good is Devil May Cry. I've been playing. Right now, I just finished the first game. I just started like this week. I started playing them, and Devil May Cry 1 is pretty rough. It's an older game. Oh, there you go. I can check.
My God, shut up.
So, all right. So Devil May Cry 1 is kind of rough. It's still fun, and the reason why it's rough is it wasn't really built like a typical hack and slash game. It was built like a Resident Evil game because it was supposed to be a Resident Evil game, but Capcom was like, this is too action packed, which is ironic because the other Resident Evils that came after this were pretty action packed. But it very much feels like a Resident Evil game, but like you could like melee stuff. Like it really does feel like a Resident Evil game though. And as such, the camera is very fixed. Like you have a lot of fixed camera angles, and that does not work in a game like this. There's a lot going on, especially in boss fights with like a circular arena. There's like 40 different camera angles when you try to fight a boss, and it makes me want to die. But besides that, the game still holds up pretty well. Like it's still plenty of fun. The combos and stuff you could do are pretty impressive for something like this. It was one of the first like real action, like what do you call those, like character action games. Yeah, like it was like the one that really made it into a thing. So as the first game, I thought it was pretty good. Not too long either. It's about like 5 hours. Pretty typical for these type of games. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into the other games. I know the second one sucks. Everyone says the second one sucks, but I'm gonna play it anyway. Yeah. But the third and fourth one are real good. So, and I think at the third one, it really finds its identity as like not a Resident Evil game. So we'll see about that once I start playing the other ones. Next, I have Wargroove, which was a pretty highly anticipated indie game. It's been teased in a lot of what do you call those? The indies for the Nintendo Nindies or whatever they call that. Yeah. Basically, it's like Advance Wars, which is basically like Fire Emblem, except instead of having like specific character units, you have just like generic units. So you would like produce like a generic soldier from like a barracks or whatever, and like make them go. Like your characters don't level up or anything like that. It reminds me a lot more of a traditional RTS, like something like StarCraft, but with like a Fire Emblem type board. Like how it plays out, and it's really good. Like a lot basically gets that Fire Emblem itch I've been having for a while, but it is extremely hard. Like there's a lot of things you gotta do to like manage your different units and things like that, since I feel like it's not as easy as Fire Emblem, since you could like level up and kind of cheese the game if you just grind out a bit. This game is really focused on like placement of your units and things like that, so you really have to think a lot harder than in something like Fire Emblem where you could just grind like stuff out. So yeah, it is giving me a good challenge, and I recommend it if you like Fire Emblem or Advanced Wars or things like that. I'm having a pretty good time with it. And next, I have the 2 demos that dropped when the Direct also dropped, which is Yoshi's Crafted World. I never played Woolly World. Again, it was another game I skipped out on the Wii U. I'm kind of sad that I did because Woolly World looked really good. But yeah, I know Travis is a pretty big fan of that. But Crafted World is really fun. I liked it a lot. Basically, it plays like Woolly World, or how I assume it would play, except you have like more dimensions to work with. It's not fully 3D. Like, don't think of it like 3D World or anything like that. But you're able to go like into the foreground or into the background at certain times, and it is really fun. nice standard platformer, or I guess Yoshi platformer. But the levels are very creative and things like that. They do a lot of things with the whole crafted element, just like how they did with the whole yarn element. So I'm very excited to see some of the further levels. Because even as the first level in the game, it was pretty creative for like this whole train segment, things like that, and it was pretty fun. So I'm looking forward to the game coming out, which comes out like March 20 something also. So
29th.
Oh, 29th. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna be picking this one up because I don't want to skip it like Woolly World. And then we get to Daemon X Machina, which also came out. This one I was more curious about since I know Yoshi was gonna be good anyway. But this game, it had me interested the first time I saw it at E3 last year. I just wasn't sure how it was gonna play out, and I think it's pretty good. I do have problems with it. Mostly that the frame rate it could get a little bad. Like when there's a lot of enemies on screen, which happens quite a bit. The frame rate goes to like below 30. Like you could definitely tell. So they really got to work that out. Other issues I have with it is I feel like the guns don't have enough impact on them. Like there's like maybe some sort of rumble or like a better animation when you're shooting your gun, because the animation when you shoot your gun doesn't look that great. And I don't know, I feel like there's not enough feedback when you shoot a gun. Like it doesn't feel that great. And that's a common complaint I've been reading on the subreddit as well. And my last complaint about it is the UI. I felt like there's like too much on screen to like understand. Like I got it after like a mission or two, but I still feel like there's a lot of like useless information that's just there to be there. So I feel like they could like clean up the UI a bit. And also one more complaint is the lock on. I feel like not having a strafe or anything like that can make aiming a little awkward. But it's something I could get over with because the game does do an okay job at auto aiming things, but it's still like it would be nice to have like some sort of like strafe button or something like that. But besides that, I think the game is pretty great. It really makes you feel like you're piloting a giant anime robot thing, and I think the game looks great. Like I know some people don't really like the graphical style, but I think it has a nice like sort of unique style to it, and I like it. So yeah, the robots all look cool. There's a lot of customizability with the robots themselves, where you could like sort of pick up parts from the missions and like go to your hangar and switch up parts on your mech and stuff. It reminds me a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles X, where you can also like change how your skull looks and stuff like that. So yeah, it reminds me a lot of that, but like more action based. So yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. Hopefully they fix those problems. I know they're asking for feedback, so once I get that like email survey thingy, I'll probably mention these complaints as well. So hopefully they can
you
fix
just
those.
Shout out them on social media.
I could also do that. But they specifically say that they were using this demo for feedback, which is great. Like I love it when companies do that. I know Octopath did the same thing, and they fixed a lot of issues it was having when they released the demo. So yeah, I'm still looking forward to this game, which is also coming out like summer apparently. So yeah, there you go. That's all I have.
All right, I forgot something. Resident Evil 2. That's why we were laughing earlier. But anyways, Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 4. It's the remake. I've never played a RE game before, but I was like, let's see how this goes, because I played that 30-minute demo and I was enjoying myself despite me being scared shitless. But the game is actually not all that scary. I actually got caught by one stupid zombie that like jump scared me, but like it shouldn't have, but it did. I was like, what the hell? Because he just like came out of nowhere from the corner. But overall, the game, I played it for like 2.5 hours or something like that, so I'm not that far in, but it is really fun, really cool. It's pretty much all item management and gun management. Meanwhile, I'm just wasting bullets on like everything. But you know what? That just makes the stream that much more entertaining, as I'm just like trying to get past these stupid zombies and monsters and all this other stuff. But yeah, the game's great, honestly. It is really surprising that the game has, in terms of like a gameplay, standpoint, like it's lasted, this long in a way. So if you've never played a RE game like myself, I'm pretty sure that this is a great, point to start off with, because a lot of people do say that RE2 is one of the best Resident Evil games, if not the best. So definitely RE2. If you haven't checked it out yet, you should definitely do so. From my 2 hours and 30 minutes playing it, it is a blast. So
yeah, I need to get it.
Is there anything else you would like to add, Damian?
No, that's it.
Okay, so thank you guys for listening to the Travis and Damian podcast on whatever platform you're listening to us to, and we will see you guys 2 weeks from now with the next episode.
See ya.